I'm gonna cook right back now. Right now.
The other one works.
He faded it back in. Like, is the other one working? Yeah, I was like.
Thanks for tuning in.
My mic felt funny. Actually, what it did was I moved the rubbing off my nipple. In this segment, Ralph is cornholio.
Hi, and welcome to another episode of What's Good Cincinnati. Today in the studio, we got Chrissy Valentine and Jessica Gabbard. How you guys doing?
Good, how are you?
I finally got that right. That's awesome. Sweet. All right. You guys have a an awareness benefit going on. You guys have it all over Facebook. Your friends and acquaintances of your friends see this.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me a little bit about this awareness benefit.
Hopefully we're hoping, to entice others into going out and get tested for thyroid disease. There's so many of us out there, and, really not even everyone that have it know, that they even have it. So we just want to, help raise awareness and do what we can.
Now, there are, I was reading that some of the symptoms of the Graves' disease.
Mm-hmm.
I was reading that some of the symptoms are similar to other conditions that can be easily confused with other conditions. So obviously it would be a very good idea for people to get checked out for this and everything.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I know myself before I was ever even diagnosed, I had, for the longest time, just thought it was in my head or, just thought it was something else. And then, fortunately, my eyes started, well, not fortunately, but, they started protruding out of my head, and my family made me go. So, but yeah, definitely go out there and get tested, because it's probably not in your head if you think something's wrong, so.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like I've always had, like, chronic migraines. My grandmother always told me it was in my head, and eventually it ended up being something. So I can definitely relate to that.
Mm-hmm.
Now you have Graves' disease, right?
Yeah. Yes.
And now you have Hashimoto's
disease.
Hashimoto's. Okay. Now that's the Japanese version, but
it's the opposite of the Graves. Whereas the Graves is hyperthyroid, I have hypothyroid. So pretty much Graves is hyper, Hashimoto's is hypo.
Which Hashimoto's is not as severe as the Graves, though, is it?
It can be,
okay,
to an extent. It's different. Where hyper is, I believe, is overactive. Where mine is underactive, where it doesn't produce enough T3s and T4s. So in other words, mine is a little bit weaker, a little bit slower. It's kind of special, so it's on the special side. So, but yeah, our symptoms there might be a few that are similar, but most of it's totally different to an extent. To where mine, we don't have the bulging eyes, the eye problems like as she does. I might feel, a little bit different. Like I'll feel weaker. I won't have enough energy to get up and do stuff like most people do, like clean the house, do laundry, or just do everyday sports and activities. Unless if I'm taking the medicine every day, and just it's the motivation basically. If I miss the medicine or if the medicine has to be changed, I don't notice myself, being active, just kind of sluggish, tired all the time.
It can be a bit confusing with people calling you lazy, but we're
right.
we're not
right.
lazy.
That's another thing I can relate to too, because I've got SVT, which is supraventricular tachycardia, which is a heart condition, and it slows me down too a lot. If I don't keep up on my medicine, I'm like really tired, and you know, and just don't want to do nothing. And my heart can, my heart can literally get up to 230, 260, 300 beats a minute. And so I could definitely relate to the thing where people would confuse the fatigue for being lazy.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
so
I've been called lazy so many times. I'm like,
it goes back to what I said before about a lot of symptoms are similar to a lot of conditions, which, you know.
Well, that's with anything. You know, you could have a cold.
Right.
And so, like, that's what a lot of people think, oh, I think I got a thyroid condition. Well, you really don't know until you get tested. You know, yeah, you might have the same symptoms as I do. You know, I'm tired all the time. I might have a thyroid condition. Well, either that or you could be just lack of sleep. You know, you have to really know if this is true. And the only way to know that is to talk to your doctor.
Yeah. But with any symptom like that, should obviously get checked for not only Graves or thyroids or anything, just any kind of symptom should really be checked out.
Yeah, definitely don't ignore it. I mean, my doctors had told me when my mom eventually had made me go to the doctor, she's like, I'm scheduling you an appointment, because I had seen them, you know, a long time after, you know, a while, and we were actually talking in the car on the way here, and it's like, you know, certain people, they see us, you know, every day, so they didn't really notice the symptoms, like with her aunt. You know, when she had it, like, they don't notice the symptoms with us every day. So, like, when you see someone that you haven't seen for a long time, it's like, oh my gosh. You know, my sister, she started crying immediately, and my mom fortunately made me go. But my doctors, you know, my blood pressure was 200/40, and they made my mom rush me to the hospital. They said if you would have waited even 1 or 2 months longer, you would have been dead. So that's what I'm trying to help people, just because, you know, it may not really, I mean, what you might think you're going crazy, but it's not, you know, could be something really wrong.
Right. Now, what are some of the major symptoms, some of the bigger symptoms to look for in either Graves or Hashimoto's?
With Hashimoto's, you're tired a lot. You start losing hair. You're constipated. You can't go to the bathroom. You're dry skin. You're very, I would say, mean. Not just because, I mean, all women have irritable. Well, you know, just because, I mean, all women have little meaner side, crazy sides, but this is like,
Believe me, I know.
I mean, you're like irritable like every day. I know my husband sees it in day out and day. I mean, there's been times where I've missed my medicine. I can forgot, and that's another thing, memory loss. You can forget, not like saying you have dementia or Alzheimer's. It's just, I mean, I know a lot of people, you know, day in, day out forget things, or, you know, but it's just like, you know, I tell my husband, you know, a story, like, you already told me that.
Yep, happens all the time.
I'm like, are you sure? So, but he will notice me, he'll notice that even my parents know if I haven't taken it. Because they'll say, oh, you know, you're getting, you know, stop getting all defensive, or, you know, I'm just joking with you. Just like my dad. My dad loves to joke, you know. And there's been times where he's like, oh, you know, stop it. I'm just joking with you, you know. Stop getting so defensive, or, you know. So I'll get very irritable, like, almost like PMS kind of thing, which is like every day.
Wow.
But as long as you...
What's your husband's name?
John.
Hey, let me get a close-up real quick. John, I give you credit, man. PMS every day, that's some shit.
Yeah.
Just saying.
But as long as...
I'm sorry.
I don't know how Jeff deals with me, because,
I mean, we'll have arguments day in, day out, and even though I love him and he loves me, but I think later on he'll notice that, okay, she probably didn't take her medicine.
Yeah.
And sometimes there's been times where he has actually counted the pills. He's like, did you take your medicine? I'm like, yeah. So he'll count the pills. So he goes, okay, you had filled it on this day. And you have a month's supplies, which is 30 pills. And there's still 15 pills left. You should be on 3 pills left. You know, so sometimes he's got to, you know, keep reminding me to take it, or else, you know, I'll just walk out the door and go to work and not even know it, and you know, and then later on I'll like start feeling my symptoms. I'm like, oh, I probably didn't take it today.
Yeah.
Or he'll like, just take your medicine, you know, so he's constantly on me about it.
Yeah, when I start to like
good.
feel bad, that's when I know like, oh gosh, I forgot to take it. And like my doctors, they're very, you know, they're like, you have to take it, and they've been trying to, you know, get me ready for my next surgeries, and it's taking too long just because my levels are constantly up and down. So it's, yeah, but they definitely, I know Jeff, I mean, I feel sorry for him. We've been together for 14 years, and God love him, he's extremely supportive, but I feel kind of bad for him at times, especially now with the, you know, constant double vision. I can't drive anymore, and I feel a lot more, you know, split on him. So, makes me feel kind of bad that he's got to deal with the crankiness as well, so, you know, it's kind of bad.
Now that that is a good man to be both of you to have somebody to stand by you through the whole thing and be very supportive.
Yeah, because this disease can be really straining on your family and really, honestly, the people around you. I mean, it's not only hard on just the person who has it; it's everybody.
Right.
So yeah. So.
And I can. I don't want to say I know how it is, because I mean I don't, but I can understand, because with my SVT, it's a strain on me and the people around me too. And also being diabetic, I got to take 10 different kinds of medications.
Well, see, you have a thyroid disease. If you have diabetes, you have a thyroid disease.
No, I didn't realize that.
Yeah, which one are you?
Type 2.
Yeah. Yeah, you have a thyroid disease. That's, on our information, welcome to the club.
Didn't realize.
Your membership card will be mailed in 2 weeks.
Sweet.
I mean, see,
Sweet.
that's what we're saying. I mean, just not everybody realizes. You know, in the U.S. alone, just the statistic.
That's okay. Take time.
The statistic alone, you know, there's 30 million just in the U.S. that do have some type of thyroid disease, and then at least half of that don't even know that they have it. And then worldwide, there's about 200 million. So, yeah, it's pretty bad. And actually, it says here that I got from the Graves' Disease and Thyroid Foundation that nearly half of all women and a quarter of all men will eventually die of an evidence of an inflamed thyroid gland. So, yeah, you know, as much as we want people to come out to our benefit, bottom line, get tested for thyroid disease.
Yeah, I don't know if this is about the Graves' disease. I know with the Hashimoto's, and I didn't get diagnosed till I was 8 years old. I went in for a school checkup, and my pediatrician told my mom's like, oh my gosh, we got to get her tested. Her neck's like, you know, swollen, like a grapefruit. And she's like, what are you talking about? She looks fine to me. Because, you know, she sees me in and day out, so she probably didn't notice. So she went to Children's, got me tested. Sure enough, I got a hypothyroidism. And she asked the doctor, okay, well, what are the symptoms? Blah, blah, blah. What is this? And they noticed that, you know, she goes, oh, she sleeps all the time. That's why she was such a good baby. Because she never woke up. You know, she slept all the time. I remember we used to live in Forest Park when we were younger. And my grandparents lived in... Actually, my grandfather still, to this day, lives there. He lives in Coleraine, you know, Forest Park and Colerane's hop and skipping away. And I would literally get in the car, fall asleep from our house in Forest Park to Coleraine. And it wasn't like driving from Cincinnati to Florida. It was driving next to and I'd fall asleep.
Yeah, I know that area. My dad actually lives out in Coleraine, so I know, and I dated somebody out in Coleraine too, so I know how close it is, and that, I mean, it's literally...
I was like...
I think it's, what, a 10-minute drive?
Yeah, she's like, you already fall asleep, and it's only 10 minutes. But yeah, I used to fall asleep all the time, and then, you know, so my mom, God love her, she would always make sure, you know, right before school, eat my breakfast, she'd have the medicine, take your medicine, you know. So I was taking it every day because of her. Now, as I got older, you know, the medicines were changing because of my age and height and all that kind of stuff, and I was maturing. And as I got older, I started forgetting to take it. I was like, oh, she will never know. You know, of course, Mom knows.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Mom knows everything.
She counts.
Always, yeah.
Always, no matter what.
Doesn't matter if she's 10 states away. She
Exactly.
Still knows.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So, and then my dad actually came to me and actually said, you know, you just don't start taking your medicine. You know, this is what you're going to look like. And he showed me a picture of a person. You know, this is years and years ago, before technology, before testing, before anything, before they even knew what a thyroid was. People would have what they call goiters.
Mhm.
You know, if they don't take care of it. He says, now, I'm not saying because you miss your medicine for a day, you're going to have it the next day. You know, it's if you don't take your medicine for months and years, you're going to have this thing, you know, bulging out of your neck. I mean, it's disgusting. But, yeah, and then that's what just kind of like, I was like, oh, okay, yeah, take it.
Yeah. How many did I miss?
But there is, I've researched more and more about it. You know, when I've got downtime and stuff at home on my days off. I'm not sure which website's true or not, or if this is real, but I've seen where they even got down to, you know, certain fruits or vegetables may be good for you. You know, certain fruits and vegetables have certain vitamins and minerals that are actually good for the thyroid. Or some of them you might want to stay away from. I'm not saying that you're allergic to it, because they were saying a lot of soy products, you know, like if you take a medicine, it's going to, not crisscross, but just kind of make the medicine not work as hard enough.
Right.
But it's not saying that you're going to get an allergic reaction, or, you know, there's people that are allergic to peanut butter. It's nothing like that. I mean, you can eat whatever you want. It's just, you know, if you're wanting to go on the healthier side and, you know, help your thyroid out, these are the extra steps you can do.
Yeah,
Right.
definitely. Yeah, they say that a good support system and just constantly, you know, proper exercise, you know, the healthy diet, like she says, and, you know, working closely with your doctor so they can manage your levels and keep you regulated.
Because I started working out, and for the longest time, I'd never worked out. And people were like, well, I don't understand. You have hypothyroidism, but you're not overweight. But for some reason, I've got a rare case of being overweight. And I just didn't have the energy. I didn't have the strength to do anything. And it was until a friend of mine, you know, we got a membership at Urban Active, and I started seeing changes like crazy. Like, I was more alert. I mean, not that, you know, everyone should work out or get some type of exercise, even just walking. You know, don't start just, oh, I'm going to go start running. You know, start small, little, and then work your way up. And that's what he did with me. You know, and I've seen changes. I'll admit, I haven't gone working out for a while, but, you know, I just need to go back in. He was like my motivation, support. He'd like, okay, let's go work out. And I'm like, really? It's 10 o'clock in the morning, and I really don't want to. And he goes, no, come on, let's go. And he would always push me and push me and push me and push me. So, and that was great, you know, as long as you had someone to push in, you know, like my husband, you gonna do the dishes? Come on, let's do the dishes. Get the dishes done. You said you were gonna do them. It's been 2 hours now. You know, have you done it yet? You know, I've always got to have, not that I need someone, it's just, there's always got to be someone to kind of push me.
Give you that push.
Yeah, to keep me motivated to do stuff.
Yeah,
Because if I was by myself, living in an apartment by myself, there'd be clothes everywhere. There'd be, you know, I probably wouldn't be going to work.
I need that type of push sometimes myself. Like,
yeah, I mean, I've got friends and family. I mean, my dad's a great example. My mom's a great example. She completed an Ironman. She done Ironman's a lot for her. She's done all kinds of marathons. I mean, she doesn't show it up, but you can see it, the dedication. And I was like, that's what I need. How do I get that? And my dad's like, well, you've always had it in you. You just need that little nudge.
Yeah.
And my dad's always about setting goals and setting dreams, you know, and he's always, you know, come on, if you said you're going to do this, let's do it. You know, you said you're going to do a lot of things, and you haven't done it. So that's another thing with the thyroid, the motivation, the weakness, the fatigue, trying to get up and doing it.
Yeah, and what's worse about it is, like, you're dragging all day, and you're just so tired, but then no matter what at night, you can't go to sleep.
Right.
You know? And it's like, for me, everybody I know is asleep, so I just go into my support group and everybody's awake.
It's like she was online with me last night, and I'm like, well, I'm the opposite of her, where she can stay up and talk, and I'm like, okay, it's like 12:30 in the morning. I need to go to bed.
Yeah.
That's okay. She was, you were messaging me, what, at like 3 o'clock in the morning?
Yep. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Well, no, 'cause see, I have that same problem with not being able to sleep.
Yeah.
So and I'll be up. Like this morning, I woke up at like, I think it was like 4 o'clock, and I couldn't get back to sleep for nothing. So I was like,
Yeah, well,
Facebook.
she's like the opposite of me. I've actually fallen asleep at the computer. I've actually, as soon as I get home, which I need to stop doing this, is I'd come home, as soon as I kick off my shoes. I mean, everyone feels like this. They're like, oh, finally, come home from work.
Yeah.
But most people, they'll, get dinner running, started, the moms or dads, whatever. I'd go straight to the couch and I'd fall asleep instantly. I mean,
I wish I could.
I mean, yesterday,
I'd love it.
I slept.
On a good day, I could do that.
Yeah, I fell asleep probably. I mean, if it wasn't for my dad calling, I probably would have fell asleep from 5 o'clock until the next morning.
Yeah, see, I just can't. I
Like,
try.
why didn't you go to bed?
Now, if I did that, I'd probably sleep for an hour and then I'm up.
Yeah,
till
with me, it's totally different.
for another
Yeah.
12 hours.
As long as
It's crazy.
I notice when I'm taking the medicine, I've got more energy, I'm more upbeat,
Right.
I'm not so sluggish, and that's why my husband's always on me, because one thing is the work,
Yeah.
He doesn't want you, he's like, I don't want you to get fired because, you're slow at your job, or they notice that you're getting slow, and they don't realize it's because of the thyroid.
Now, do you actually keep that from knowledge from where you work at?
I don't really. I mean, it's not like I've really told them. I mean, some of the people know, like, oh, I didn't know you had a thyroid problem. If they ask, I'll tell.
Yeah.
But as long
I
as
tell everybody.
as long as I take my medicine, I don't have a problem when I go to work. I mean, there's been a couple times where I've missed, but I have to fight it. I'm like, okay, you've missed your medicine. Don't show it. Just do what you got to do, and then,
Right.
So, but I mean, it hasn't really been a struggle as much as how she's been going through what she's gone through, and
Right.
I haven't gone through that much, but recently, back in 2008, I actually broke my left hip at work. I was 27 years old with a broken hip in the hospital with 3 titanium pins put in. Now, last year, my ankle had swelled up so much, and they didn't know, if my mom didn't know if it was blood clots, because I've got also factor V Leiden deficiency, which is a high risk of blood clots. Never had a blood clot right now, but anytime I go into surgery, I have to let them know.
All right.
Well, they found out it wasn't a blood clot, so I went to my doctor and they said, well, let's do a bone scan. I did a bone scan and noticed that my vitamin D level was very, very, very low. And what the vitamin D level does is it keeps the calcium from leaking out, so it holds up like a barrier. And then I got to doing research. Okay, why do I not have vitamin D? I drink milk. What's going on? Found out it's part of the thyroid.
Mm-hmm.
A thyroid can actually make the vitamin D get low if you're not taking enough of it.
Yep.
So she put me on actual vitamin D medicine, tablets, and and I'm thinking, I don't know if this is true or not, but I'm thinking that might have been the reason why I've fallen. And my doctor, he's a great orthopedic. He said, it was just a freak accident. You fell at work, but.
My fault all the time.
Yeah. But most people, when they fell like how I fell, they probably would have just got a bruise and got back up. And so, was it part of my thyroid? I don't know. I'm thinking it might have been. And so now, ever since then, I've been taking calcium pills with the vitamin D, to kind of help strengthen the bones a little bit more. But the only thing with that, you can't take it with the thyroid medicine, like you wake up, take medicine, take your calcium. There are certain vitamins that you have to wait 4 hours to take after you had taken your thyroid medicine. If you take the calcium pill before your thyroid medicine, it's vice versa. Then you have to wait to take it.
Right.
It took me forever to realize that. I'm like, why am I not feeling better?
Oh, what the hell's
Yeah, I mean, because when they took my thyroid out, they had said that there was a chance that my parathyroid gland can be damaged. And so it actually was. And so now my calcium levels get really low. Sometimes, Jeff, he'll have to rush me to the hospital. I get real tingly, and sometimes they say if it ever gets to your mouth area that, you have to go to the hospital right away and be there for hours till they, get you enough in you. It's kind of funny, actually, because after my surgery, I took forever to get out of my thyroid surgery. And they came out and, they brought me out to my family after hours. My family, they were wondering what is going on. Why isn't she out here? And the first thing I said to them was, they broke my calcium and I peed my pants. And I think the dream was I peed my pants, but they did damage my calcium. But it was just so funny. I don't know. I'll remember that forever. But yeah, so now I have to take calcium, and they have to measure that all the time. And yeah, so kind of hard.
Now you had mentioned a support group a few minutes ago. Tell me a little bit about that.
Okay. Yeah. Back in February, I actually, I just got the idea that I wanted to help people. I knew pretty much since November that I wanted to do something, big. But wasn't exactly sure what at the time. But finally in February, I started a support group on Facebook. It's under Graves' Disease and Thyroid Awareness and Support. And currently we are up to roughly about 287 members, just a little under 300, and we are worldwide. Members join all the time. So we're really great. It's just really nice to have, that support, because, your family and everyone tries to understand, but they don't really know what you're going through.
Right.
So it's nice to just, be able to, go on there and, you can be like, oh, hey, does anybody feel this? Or, I even posted, because I thought my Synthroid, my thyroid medicine, I thought it was too high. I think I take, 175 right now, and I don't know, what do you take with your Synthroid?
137.
Yeah, and and they keep on raising it, and so I'm like, what is too high? Because someone else had told me they were on 50, and I was just like, what? And so I had to be sure that I was, okay. So yeah, but there's, I don't know, it takes forever to scroll down, all the way to the beginning. You will be scrolling for a day or two. It's so detailed. Everyone is so awesome. I love it, and we actually went to school together. We weren't really best friends or anything, but we were close. We always talked to each other. We were both, and in school we never were, closed-minded about other people, and always open to everybody, and real friendly. And I had shared, my story that I had Graves' disease, and told her, and then she's like, oh yeah, I have, Hashimoto's, and it was able to, connect us, and even other people from our school, and then, people, of course, around the world, and it's just really great. I love everybody. They're awesome.
Now, what is the name of the support group?
Oh, I'm sorry.
And how would somebody find?
They can actually go onto Facebook. It's under Graves' Disease and Thyroid Awareness and Support. Or you can just look up my name directly, Jessica Gabbard. I do make it available for every member to, friend me. I do keep my there we go again. My profile private, but everyone in the group is, allowed to request me to be their friend. And I've made it, they can contact me at any time. So I actually talked to quite a few people. There's this one really sweet girl right now. She lives in New York, and she was just diagnosed, some months ago, and she's just having a real rough time. And I just remember being there, and I didn't have anybody to talk to. I was alone. I was with Jeff, of course, but, not having anyone to talk to. And so I just want to be there for her. I don't have all the answers, but at least maybe I'll tell her, like, she'll be sad. And I just tell her, just, like, start laughing. Just start laughing. Just make yourself laugh, and you'll feel better. So I'm thinking I'm bringing her around. So just to be able to help people, it just means.
That's a really good thing you guys got going on with the support group and everything, and also with the benefit. Now, circling back to the benefit, how would people find information about the benefit? Where would they go?
They can actually go also onto Facebook. They can look under the title of the benefits, First Annual Graves' Disease and Thyroid Awareness Ride and Party. It's a bit long, but I want to include thyroid in there as well, just because there are so many types, and honestly, the foundation, they also support both, so I wanted to, do that as well. They can also look under, there's like an event page, it's like on motorcyclemonster.com. I think it's like ohiobikeevents.com. There's a lot of information, and then there's information leading to other websites as well, so, and other information as far as more details.
Yeah, but with the Hashimoto's, it's almost like a silent one. Mm-hmm. Like with hers, is more obvious. You can see it. Your eyes start doing different. Well, with what I have, I call it the silent disease.
Yeah.
People are like, oh yeah, I feel sluggish too, and blah blah blah. It could be the same symptoms. You could be just sleep deprived. Not enough sleep.
Right. Which again goes back to some symptoms are different.
Yeah.
Or similar to different conditions, or it could be. Yeah. It could be something.
My
it
hair,
could be nothing.
I'm losing
but
hair, or everyone loses hair, but it's gotta,
Yeah, or like the sensitivity to heat. Well, I think pretty much right now everybody is.
Yeah. Oh
so,
God.
But the thing is with me, and it's really weird how it works out. If someone, like, say you're burning up, like, oh my gosh, it's burning up in here, I could be freezing cold.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like, you're freezing cold, it's burning up in here. But if it's vice versa, if you're freezing cold, I could be burning up.
Yep.
It's weird how that works out. I don't know how it works out.
Yeah. That's how me and Jeff are, because he's the opposite.
Yeah, he like my husband, he'll have the fan on and when he goes to bed, because he's always hot. Well, then later on in the night, he gets cold. I'm like, it's hot in here. He's like, I'm freezing.
Yep.
How is it hot?
Yeah.
So
we go through that every night.
Well, it's like, and you'll probably laugh at this. Like at night, I sleep in front of the air conditioner with a fan blowing the air directly on me.
That's what Jeff does.
So, and I'm like, and I still sweat, and I'm like, oh my God, it's freaking hot. Like, how can you be hot in your...
He could have the fan blowing on high as soon as he gets in. Yeah, because he works at Lowe's. Sometimes he's on delivery, especially, 110-degree weather, 90-degree weather, and you're hot. You come home, you still feel like you're hot. It takes a while for your body to cool down.
Right.
Well, by the time we go to bed, he's got the fan on. Yeah, it feels good. And I could be like, God, can you turn down the fan a little bit? Because it's freezing. So he'll turn it down. But then later in the night, I'm like, man, I'm burning up. What do you do? Put the heat on to like 100? And he's sitting there. I'll wake up and he's I'm like, that's hot. I was like, look at Jessie, which is our standard poodle. She'd be laying there on her back, legs brought up. I was like, see, she's cooling off.
Yeah, it's funny how it is with us, too.
It is with the or Hashimoto's, hypothyroidism. It's kind of silent, so you really don't know that you have it until you get tested.
Yeah.
Where unlike hers, like, she noticed, the eyes bulging, and she cried, something's wrong. Or like me, my mom just thought I was a good baby. I slept all the time, and nothing went wrong. Well, until the neck started bulging out. Like, if your neck, that's probably the only sign, but it's kind of hard to notice. if you have people, you know, every day in and day out in your life, like a husband or your mom or your dad, you know, they didn't notice until the doctor said something.
Right.
He's the one that saw it, so he knows.
Yeah. I mean, and also, too, like, some Graves patients, like, because there's a lot in my group, they don't have the double vision, and they don't have the, you know, the bulging, but you can tell because they do at least have the redness and the swelling, you know, around all the eye tissues. Well, the funny thing is actually less than 5% get the more severe, which is what I have, so I guess I'm just lucky. I don't know. I always told Jeff, let's go to the casino. I don't know.
But I would have to say, before you decide to get tested, before you think, oh yeah, I got that,
Mm-hmm.
you know, irritability, yeah, I got that, okay. I hate to tell you, all women out there, all women's going to be irritable.
Definitely.
You know, but make sure you seriously think about having it, because, I mean, it's not cheap to get tested. I mean, I'll just tell you, I mean, you should get tested. But before you do, make sure this is what you want to do, because it is a silent kind of thing. Now, not everyone has the same symptoms, you know. Like she was saying, you know, there's people with Graves' disease that might not have the same symptoms as her. You know, they might have, their eyes might be perfect, but they might have this or this, you know. Just like with me, like I'm not sure which ones they have, but my cousin has it on my dad's side, and two of my aunts on my dad's side, and my aunts on my mom's side. So I was the first one diagnosed out of all of them, but does that mean that I had it before them? No. They just didn't know that they had it.
Before, I was losing like 30 pounds a month, and then they took my thyroid out. They were pretty much forced to, because they said either way I was going to get worse. My heart was very bad. They were forced to do it, I mean, literally at the last minute, just because they were so worried. And the thing is right before, I was at my pre-op appointment, and I had to get my heart tested to make sure I was okay. And the doctor's like, yeah, you're having a heart attack.
Wow.
So, yeah, it was like, fortunately, it was just a mild heart spasm. But, yeah, I had to stay in the hospital at least about almost a week before my surgery until they would do it. So, but, yeah, it was pretty crazy. I don't know where my train of thought was with that, but sorry. I lose my thought all the time, so have fun laughing at home.
It's okay, we all do it at times. Now, other than, no, you're married or?
No, I've been with my boyfriend for 14 years. You know, we just have to wait for all my surgeries, you know, obviously. I need to have my surgeries done. I need to put that first, so
okay, yeah,
take care of that first. I mean, and honestly, I don't want to be like, hey, you know, let's get married, and then here's all this debt, you know.
Yeah, really.
So I'm like, you know, he's already been so nice, and he's supported me, and I love him more than anything, so thank you, Jeff. But it's okay for me to stay.
Oh, yeah, it's
So,
absolutely.
I mean, yeah, he's
absolutely.
awesome. I love him. Jeff Steele, so sorry, Jeff.
And where I was going with that, is other than your boyfriend and your husband, who has been the biggest influence, more supportive in your life?
You can go first.
I'd probably say my father. I mean, my mother too, but, you know, she lives in Alabama, so we don't talk, not on an everyday basis, you know, because I don't get to see her so much. But my father, he's always, I mean, he's even, you know, researched stuff, and he'll just call me up one day, hey, what you doing? I was like, nothing, just got home from work. Well, guess what I found out? Like, what, you pregnant? No, he'll say, like, oh, I was just, you know, searching something, or I was talking to so-and-so, and guess what, you know, you can take this for your thyroid, you know, to help it out, or, I found out that if you eat this, you know, this is what's going to do to your medicine, or, you know, he's, hey, sorry, Dad, but you're a computer geek.
Hey, so am I.
Well, I should say a computer jockey geek. He played football in high school, so he's got the computer geek, but with the jockey built.
Tell him to come
He's a
fix
computer
my
jockey.
other computer.
Computer
then.
jockey.
Just kidding.
So he's very, very smart at computers, and so he does a lot with computers. He works on computers at home. He'll be like searching the site and he'll find things. Oh, well, you need to eat more spinach, because that helps. He's been on this health kick, finding new ways or new things that, could help the thyroid out, because the thyroid, pretty much what it is, I don't know if we've explained it, it looks like a butterfly, and that's the reason why the logo on here is like shaped like a butterfly. It's in your neck.
I was actually kind of wondering about that too.
No, we just picked
Yeah, I
it
know,
because
just
it's
like,
pretty.
this is a bike event. Why are you have a butterfly?
I was
pretty.
actually, I think, you know what, I think that was the question that I'd lost before, is the whole butterfly thing. But
No, we just picked it because it was pretty.
Oh, okay, well.
Yeah, but usually they, if you look it up, it looks like a butterfly shaped, not an actual butterfly.
Right,
but,
right.
Fluttering in there in your neck. In case you feel those little twitches
Yes,
every
that's why I always get that little tickle in my throat.
Starts-
I don't
starts
have
on a
that. I
caterpillar
don't have
and then-
one, so I don't
Yeah.
get that anywhere. I just get a bone pop out every now and then when I cough or like whatever. No, it really does. You can feel it. It's kind of creepy.
I'll take
For me, it's hard to feel my thyroid.
Be weird. For me.
Yeah, I know. I try
just
to
take
get
your
Jeff
word on
to.
that.
Yeah.
I try to tell Jeff. I'm like, here, feel this. He's like, no.
But basically what it is, it's in your neck. It's like in this general area.
Larynx,
Yeah, thank you. That thing. What she said.
voice box.
Now, the doctors where I go to, they can feel it. They can say, oh, you've been taking your medicine. I'm like, yes.
I got a pill stuck in there? What's going on?
But, when I do that, because there have been times where I'm like, oh, I could do that. But do I know what I'm feeling for? No. Because every time I try to grab my neck, I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, there it is. No.
It's there.
That wasn't your thyroid. But, the doctors are so smart. They know exactly where it's at and how to feel for it, if it's enlarged, if it's, okay. But it's very, very, very rare that they actually do remove it. Unlike her case, it's not like, oh, I had to get my appendix removed, or I had to get my tonsils removed. It's not like one of those organs that it's just there for decoration. You can just remove it.
Yeah, your thyroid controls your whole body.
Yeah, it controls your hormones. There's been times where I'll just start crying.
Mm-hmm.
My husband like, why are you crying?
I don't know.
I don't know. We're watching Big Brother.
I cry over everything.
But the game that they played was so neat, and the guy won.
For the Olympics.
But no, not
Saved by the
necessarily
Bell.
a Big Brother, but
Right.
Everything.
I could be clipping coupons out, and I would just start getting a little teary-eyed. He goes, "What's wrong? You're clipping coupons."
Crackers have a double coupons.
Well, me,
I
every
can say
time I
anything
find out,
about
like, someone else wants to be involved, I just start crying and I get so emotional.
Or like my brother, he got baptized up at Crossroads Community Church, and now he's not a very emotional guy. I'm not saying that all guys are, but he was born with a part of his brain not developed, corpus callosum, which is basically the right side controls left side controls right side. So he had his, tough times growing up and everything. But, if you see him, he looks normal, speaks normal, does normal things, got a job, everything. But, he just looks at me as we're walking up and he's about to get dunked in the water. And I'm sitting there just bawling my eyes out. And he's like, my grandpa yells out, God love him, oh, stop that crying. So he's from Barberville, Kentucky. He's from down south. So,
Yeah.
where you got your house and your neighbor's 50 miles away, and you're out there on your front porch, drinking a beer. So he's one of those guys. So he
Catch a pet squirrel.
yeah, my grandpa, shh, we're at a baptism. He's like, oh, stop your crying. Ah. I'm like, okay, lower the voice. So, but it was emotional, but everyone's looking at you like, really? You're not the one getting baptized, and you're sitting there sobbing. I'm like, and my brother. But yeah, it could be just anything, and I've been watching Beauty and the Beast or Snow White, 101 Dalmatians.
Anything.
No, it's just allergies.
Yeah, like Jeff, he's so funny. I don't know. he just thinks it's hilarious. I'll just start crying over everything. But yeah, he's been extremely supportive. You know, Tracy Vest from the band Road Trip Trio, she, you know, actually wrote my flyers. She's been super great. Doug Bertram, he's from the band Montage that'll be there. He had a benefit a few years ago. He had to have a transplant, and so he had a benefit that my boyfriend had gone on, and he's been extremely emotionally supportive, because I'll be like, oh, you know, I'll be like crying about everything, especially when I find out someone wants to help out, and I'm like, how did you do this on that day? You know, and he's like, honestly, I didn't really lose it until, you know, my donor had came up and made a speech, and I'm like, I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm not wearing makeup or anything that day, and so yeah, and then Bourbon Sky, the band that'll be there, their singer, Katrina Hicks, she has Graves' disease. So we've been talking a lot. She actually contacted me, and they wanted to have a, you know, part to do with it, so that's awesome. You know, my family, my mom, like I said, thank her for making me go, you know, to the doctor. My grandpa, he was actually the very first person to say something was wrong with my eyes. I miss you, Grandpa. He's not here anymore. You know, he was supposed to walk me down the aisle always, and unfortunately, right after I was diagnosed, he passed unexpectedly. I mean, he was 100% healthy. It's pretty hard. I still have a little post-traumatic stress from it, because it was just so hard, and then right after being diagnosed, and I mean, he meant everything to me. So yeah, him, he's always, you know, right here with me. My grandma, my sister, she has her own illness. She actually has to have a surgery every month, or every year for the rest of her life. And she has to, you know, use a catheter. Her stomach swells up. I don't want to go into stories of how it happened, but, you know, long story short,
Right.
you know, she had had a surgery done, and God love her, she's strong like me, so, you know, we have each other. Theo Rossi, you know, from the show Sons of Anarchy, I mean, I'm sure you've heard by now. He has been extremely supportive. We met him back in Cycle Fest, back in November. Him and Kim Coates were there, and Jimmy K, definitely. Hi, Jimmy. Thank you. And Theo and Kim and Tommy playing again. But they have been so great. I have used so much advice that Jimmy K has given me for my benefit. Every little piece, I've taken it into account. He's been extremely supportive. He actually just told me yesterday, he's like, well, I have something here from Kim Coates. And I was like, and I'm like, for me? And he's like, yeah. And I was like, what? And he was like, I don't know. He's like, but Kim says it's for you. And so, I mean, they've just been so supportive. I met them, and they were awesome. They talked to me, I don't know, for quite a long time. And, you know, even invited me on the stage. I had forgot to get something signed for my brother-in-law. And I really wanted to get a book signed for him. It's so funny, he wants a motorcycle, and my sister doesn't, she never really wanted him to have one, just because, you know, kids, I mean, and I can understand that. But so I told him that, and so they signed it, and it said, Brandon, let your wife buy you a bike. And it's just so funny, and he just laughed. And then my sister, you know, God love her, she loves the show, and she couldn't make it, so I wanted to get her an autograph as well. And so, yeah, they invited me on stage. We took a picture. It's my profile picture. It's so funny, though. Like, even her, like, I've had people ask me, like, is that your boyfriend? I'm like, no, that's Theo Rossi. Like, you know, I just keep it up because I feel like if I'm ever sad or anything, I can look at it, and it's like, this will help me. It'll bring me back into reality of what my purpose is and what I want to do, which is help people. Because he, you know, and Kim Coates and Tommy Flanagan, because we met him back in February, and he had actually said he had a similar eye illness back, you know, a long time ago. And when he had to have it done, his surgery done in Scotland, or I mean in California, not in Scotland. And, you know, so that was pretty neat. And then, you know, he has the scars, you know, on his face. He had been attacked, you know, back in Scotland. Unfortunately, it was just a case of mistaken identity. which is pretty sad. But we had talked about, we might have these, physical afflictions that, people can obviously see that we couldn't control by certain circumstances, but we're not going to let it control us. It's not going to, like, define us. It's not saying, like, oh, this is who I am. And it's just really awesome to have that support. And, Theo, he sent me, some messages, and, just out of respect, I don't, of course, share them. Now, anything he posts, I don't care, like, to share, but, I'm not, I'm just very, respectable. But yeah, he's awesome. He announced on his Twitter, actually a week ago, that he's gonna put some items together for the auctions. Am I allowed to say that?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. He's gonna put some items together for the auction, signed by cast members from the show. So that's pretty awesome. He actually asked me, where should I send it? And I was like telling Jeff, I'm like, oh my gosh, should I give him my address? Like, I don't know. I'm a little nervous, but yeah. So I'm just a little worried about our mailman, but I told him not to. I called the post office. I'm like, please do not bend my mail, and please do not send it wet. Please, because I don't know. I'm not gonna say anything bad. Sorry, but yeah. But there's been a lot of supportive people. I mean, lots of generous people out there. That just really just want to help out, and that care about you. And I'm sorry if I'm, forgetting anybody. I mean, there's just been so many people, that's been supportive, and I'm sure I'm forgetting someone, and I feel bad. So
yeah, and it's not like this is when she sent me the site and everything, and I'm like, oh wow, they have a thyroid foundation. Never thought they would have one. Not to downgrade any other foundations, I'm all for, like Make-A-Wish Foundation, or, any cancer stuff like the Susan G. Komen Foundation, I'm all for those,
The Anthony Munoz Foundation?
Yeah,
he's really supportive of us, so, yeah.
I just never thought that there'd be an actual thyroid foundation, not that any of the other foundations are, bad,
Right.
But, I'm all for that too, and all these foundations all over the world, whether it has to do something with a disease or cancer or dysfunction or Habitat Humanity, building houses for anybody, all these little foundations and profit organizations. I just never thought they would have one for a thyroid. And she showed it to me one day, and I'm like, oh wow. And that's why I was like, okay, I'm joining instantly.
Yeah, and Kimberly Doris, she's actually one of their representatives. I talk to her, pretty regularly, and she's been amazing to me. Anytime, like, I've ever had a question, she gets back to me real quickly. She, had helped me set up certain sites, which are available if you go to our event page on Facebook. But yeah, she's been great. I really like her, and she, told me eventually if I ever wanted to, which I have been talking to University, Hospital about having monthly support group meetings, for people in the area, and they have actually been really supportive. They're just currently trying to find me a room, and then we can get together and start having those. And then the doctors and, some nurses will come in and answer some questions for people. And anyone who can't come, they said they can either Skype them in or conference call them in, which is awesome. So just currently trying to find the room for that. She said, she sent me all the forms and said, you just got to go through a simple, little training. I mean, anybody, can do it anywhere, really. There's not one currently in Cincinnati. And you can do that, and then they'll actually advertise it on their foundation website, and you can be there for support for people. So, but currently, since we don't have one, I know on Facebook, in our support group, we've been playing around with the idea of certain members, in the area, since we are obviously worldwide,
right.
Getting together for dinner, and just, meeting and talking with each other. And it's funny, there's this guy, his name's I think like Leon, I can't remember his last name, I'm sorry, but he lives in Hungary, over in the UK, and he's like, I'm sorry, he's like, I might be a little bit late in arriving. So it's pretty funny. And then Christine Lugo, she's pretty funny. She actually lives in New York. She's like, come to New York. And then this lady, Nancy, she lives in Chicago. She's like, come to Chicago. And I'm like, that would be so awesome. And then Linda, like, there's just a whole bunch of awesome people. I really love our support group, so.
But, now your support group sounds like a really awesome thing you guys got going on.
Yeah, I mean, I like it a lot.
Sounds like you guys are all pulling together, helping each other out. And the benefit, you said, is at Rick's Tavern?
Yes.
Right? Okay.
August 18th.
So, for any information on the support group and on the awareness benefit, they can check out the event page for the benefit on your Facebook page.
Yes.
And as well as the support group.
Yes.
And now, what kind of websites would you recommend for people to go check out for information on the
Graves' disease and thyroid disease?
Yeah, Graves' disease and Hashimoto. I knew I was going to forget it at some point.
Hashimoto.
You can actually go on to the National Graves' Disease and Thyroid Foundation. It's N as in Nancy, G as in Gary, D as in David, F as in Frank.org.
Okay, so that's...
Yeah, so I don't say, like, everything clearly, so I have to spell it out.
ngdf.org.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, which I'll put that on
that's fine.
On the bottom.
D as in dog or David?
But yeah, they can go on to that. And there's, other websites. I mean...
Or you can even just Google.
Yeah.
Gotta love Google.
Yeah, I love Google. I've gotten so much information, but I mean... of course, got to be careful sometimes, like how she was saying, some websites will say one thing's not okay, and then, like with the strawberries.
Yeah. One website, well, it's not like websites, it's more like blogs, I should say. People have their opinions and, but, even if you just Google it, thyroid problems, or even WebMD, you can find it on there.
Endocrine. And the one thing I look at myself, everybody suffers. Everybody suffers in some way or another. And so I'm just like, I'm not going to feel sorry for myself, because there's so much beauty in this world. I mean, you look at Thea Rossi, and Kim Coates. They're on one of my favorite TV shows. And they care not only about me, but their whole fans. I mean, they did not just spend a lot of time with me, they spent time with everybody. And I mean, and just to see that and just see how much they care, and they do a lot for the veterans, war veterans. They do a lot for, they go overseas and visit the troops. They go, they help out animals, rescue animals, which I feel kind of bad because I breeded my dog. But it was only just because, I wanted offspring of her. I love her so much, and she's getting to be 8 now, so I feel bad, so sorry for that. But I do support the SPCA, but that's what I wanted to do. It just set me an example, and, made me want to go out there and do something. So I'll never look back. Always appreciate everything, and when, you get sad, just laugh heartily. People are like, oh, I love your support group, and it's like, we're all here, to help each other. I don't look at my support group over another person's. We're all in this together. Because there are others out there, there's Graves' disease info. I mean,
there's all kinds of
everything. Everything just come together and everybody
just because you join one doesn't mean you can't join all of them. I mean, that's just more people that you can talk to. I mean, and Gina, she's really great. She, has her own little thyroid boot camp, and she's great. So, I let her know what I was doing, and she said, she was proud of me too. So, it means a lot. So go to that one too as well.
Thyroid's sexy.
Thyroid's sexy.
Never thought of your thyroid being sexy. Oh, check out her thyroid.
Well, guys, we gotta finish up.
Okay,
and, thank you guys for coming out.
Thank you so much.
Talking about us.
with us.
Talking with us.
See, I think you're catching our graves. No, I'm just kidding. Our thyroid.
It's rubbing off on me.
I know.
No,
No, I'm just kidding. It's not
dander.
catchable.
That was dander. I'm just kidding. But no, thanks for coming out, talking with me. I learned a lot, and I didn't know that diabetes was actually a type of thyroid, but I do now. And but very informative stuff. Thanks again for coming out and talking with me.
Yeah, thank you so much. And everybody, please go out there and talk to your doctor about getting tested for thyroid disease.